I stumbled upon this Swenson conversion barrel a while ago while it was on sale. I paid less for it than a family of 5 can eat at McDonald's. Some of the low pricing comes from its lack of packaging. This is it. But if it runs well, who cares about the packaging, right? This converts a 40 caliber Glock 22 to a 9mm. It's all stainless steel and has a threaded muzzle at the end. Just field strip the stock slide assembly, like you would if you were cleaning it. Remove the factory recoil spring and the factory barrel. Install the Swenson barrel just like you would the factory barrel, and put your factory recoil spring back in. And then just reassemble your slide. Older Glocks have polygonal rifling, while this Swenson barrel has conventional rifling. The main benefit to this is now you can safely run lead bullets. I noticed that the Swenson barrel has this shallow ramp cut into the top of the barrel. The 40 caliber Glock 22 and the 9mm Glock 17 slide assemblies have different weights, but share the same recoil spring. The factory barrels do not have this little ramp and are flush with the top of the slide. To counter the extra weight of the 40 caliber assembly, I think they cut this ramp into the top of the barrel to speed up the unlocking time. The reason why you can't just drop a factory 9mm Glock 17 barrel into the 40 caliber Glock 22 slide is that the outside diameter of the 9mm barrel is smaller and would just rattle around in the larger hole in the front of the slide of the 40 caliber Glock. Conversion barrels work by matching the outside diameter of the 40 caliber barrels while the inside diameter is sized for 9mm. Out of curiosity, let's see if this dummy 9mm will cycle through this 40 caliber magazine. Oh, looky there. Try it again. That means in a pinch, a 40 caliber magazine will work with the 9mm. To keep our exposed threads from getting damaged, I borrowed this thread protector off of another gun. Now let's go try it at the range. Alright, first shot.
What happened?
Didn't want to chamber that last one. To test the theory, I loaded 3 rounds into it. Alright, back in the shop, 1 dummy 9mm round. Watch the slide stop. Oop, see it? Shouldn't have done that. But still cycles it when you drop the slide. Alright, we got a dummy 9mm in the left one and a dummy 40 in the right one. And if you look at the follower on the left one, on the 9mm one, it is presented higher than the one on the right. The reason for this is that the wider feed lips of the 40 caliber magazine present the smaller diameter 9mm a little higher, allowing the follower to go a little higher, thus activating the slide stop. So in a pinch, yes, they will work, but it'll be better to get some 9mm magazines. I needed something to cover the threads. I could have bought another thread protector, but I decided to try a compensator this time. In keeping with the budget theme, I skipped 2 McDonald's lunches and was able to buy this cheap one. It came with this crush washer, which would work just fine, but I know I'll be taking it on and off frequently, so I came up with a different option. So I got these rubber O-rings and these thin washers that I found and put a washer, then the O-ring, and then the washer. Basically made a double stuffed Oreo in between the shoulder of the barrel and the compensator. The rubber O-ring squishes, allowing you to clock the compensator so the ports are facing straight up, and also provides a little bit of forward pressure, which hopefully keeps it from unscrewing. All right, let's go back to the range. Started out by shooting some 180 grain 40 calibers. Then we dropped in the 9mm conversion barrel, and you could definitely feel a difference. I threaded on the compensator and then opened up a brand new box of Blazer brass 9mm.
Uh-oh.
If you look at the brass, you can see it just barely dribbling out of the gun. I don't know if this box of ammo is underpowered or maybe the compensator is stealing too much energy. Or a little of each.
Alright, here's the Winchester.
So I decided to borrow some hotter ammo and see if that would fix it. So, range trip number 3, I'll bring the chronograph and we'll test this particular box of Blazer, which I'm pretty sure I used Blazer on the first time I went, but that was a different batch. I'll test it against this Federal that I have. The factory recoil spring is rated at 17 pounds. I have this old aftermarket one that I think is rated for 13 pounds. I'll bring it too. So with the chronograph, I tested the Blazer brass first and was able to get about mid-11s. So it's not underpowered. I tried some red box Federals and was able to get about a little bit less, maybe low 11s. Then I tried these Magtechs, and surprisingly, they're like mid-12s, so they're definitely the more powerful ones. So I reattached the compensator and tried it again and got pretty much the same results. Just barely trickling out from both the Federals and the Blazer brass. Next, I swapped in the 13-pound aftermarket spring and loaded up with some Federal and gave it a good two-handed grip, and it seemed to run pretty good. But remember, you don't need to tune your gun for best case scenario. You need to tune it for worst case scenario. So I switched to a one-handed grip, and I got another failure to eject. Switched to the Blazer and got the same results. Finally, I switched to the Magtech stuff, the hot stuff, and it actually seemed to run pretty well, even with a one-handed grip. So I'm going to take off this heavy compensator and switch back to the lightweight thread protector. So my advice would be to just get a thread protector or find a lightweight compensator and run hotter ammo. For its final test, I think I'm going to run it in a match, so stay tuned for that.